guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we are going to be checking out some new Masterverse figures. And actually, we're going to be looking at a couple different Masterverse figures. Some of these I've been very excited for. Some of them I've been extremely excited for. In fact, why don't we go ahead and jump into this one first? This, of course, is Evil Lyn, as inspired by the 1987 motion picture. This figure is such a long time coming. I am so happy to see a character that has not been given the action figure treatment yet for this film. And Evil Lyn is arguably one of the best portrayed characters in this film. Meg Foster is amazing. I always loved her in this, so I'm so happy to get this new figure. So this comes in the new style Masterverse packaging with the Masterverse logo at the top, which sort of has a semblance of the vintage MOTU logo. There's even the bursting rocks around it. And of course, we just have the smaller window now showcasing the figure within. But of course, all around that, we've got this absolutely gorgeous artwork of these scenes from the movie. I mean, oh my goodness, look at Skeletor's face. You can see his little ship, his army. There's Evil Lyn right on the front with her hologram of the cosmic key. Beastman is down here, another figure we desperately need from the movie. I just hope that this means we're going to get more from the 87 movie. Maybe I got my hopes up too high. I don't know, but this is pretty exciting, at least seeing this artwork on here. More beautiful artwork on the spine. And of course, this continues the tradition of the awesome artwork on the spine. So if you want to keep these in the box and line them up on the shelf, you've got this gorgeous artwork to look at here. I absolutely love it. The back of the packaging there just has a cross cell for the figure. And then we've even got kind of like this little bio and a headshot down here at the bottom. And you can see some of the other figures that were previously released in the new assortment of Masterverse figures. So let's go ahead and get Evil Lyn opened up. I'm really excited to look at this figure, as well as compare her to the Skeletor and the He-Man that we got in Masterverse based on this movie, but also the MOTU Classics versions of the movie figures, because we didn't get Evil Lyn with those, and I want to see how she fits in with those particular figures. So we've got our movie Evil Lyn opened up out of the packaging, bringing in the tape measure here. You can see that she is just shy of 7 inches tall. And don't you worry, my friends, we are going to be comparing her to several other figures to see how she fits in, because of course we've got Masterverse, but we got to see how she fits in with Masters of the Universe Classics. But before we get to that, let's talk about this figure, because my goodness, I really like this. I'm just telling you right up front. I really like this. Okay, so she's got a cloth cape, and if I'm being honest, this might be one of the weaker points of the figure. It's not a bad cape by any means. In fact, this is certainly feels like a bit of an improvement over some of the capes we've seen from Mattel. I don't know. It's hard to cloth capes, man. It's hard with cloth capes. It's hard to get them right and to look right. This is pretty good though. The quality's decent on there. It is like cut pretty straight, but they did make it so it rolls a little bit on the outside, so that does look pretty nice. You'll notice that she's got these like kind of shoulder armor pieces that are over the cape, so this is non-removable. This is like attached to this piece over her shoulders there that sits around her neck. But look at that likeness on there. So we talked about in the He-Man video how clearly our movie He-Man figure in Masterverse did not have the likeness rights to Dolph Lundgren, because that did not look like Dolph Lundgren. But looking at this here, I can certainly see a likeness to Meg Foster. This is a really nice head sculpt. And the paint deco is pretty good on here too. I do feel like if somebody who had those skills to really get in there and do a realistic paint job on there, I feel like it would bring out that sculpt even more. Like, I think that sculpt is there. But this is still pretty nice looking as is. There's a lot of colors up here, the details up in the headdress that she's wearing. I like that quite a bit. And the colors on the figure all around are really nice. You can see her bodysuit is sort of like this pearlized pinkish purple. It's got these silver spirals on there to kind of bring out lots of decoration. But then she's got the bodice that is like kind of like a chromy looking silver. Like, it's not shiny, but it's got like this kind of like sparkle fleck in there a little bit in the plastic. I love the snakes on there. I think that is a really cool detail. One of those details you probably don't even notice when seeing her on film. And then the lower skirt piece here is actually made of a really pliable plastic, and it even has a pattern on there. Look at that pattern. That's really nice. I don't know. I think this is a really nice looking figure. I like it quite a bit. And as far as articulation goes, ball joint at the head, good range of movement there. Arms go outwards, forwards, backwards, swivel at the bicep. You do have just a single joint at the elbow, but it swivels at the elbow as well. You got swivels and hinges at the wrist. You got the ball joint there at the waist. The legs can hinge outwards. Obviously, we're going to have a little bit of hindrance because of that skirt piece. But we got forwards, backwards movement, swivel at the thigh cut. You've got the double joints at the knees, which are very tight on my Evil Lyn. Swivels at the boot cut there. And then the ankles can move forwards and backwards, rock side to side. Lots of tight articulation in the legs, which is good. I mean, she doesn't have wobbly legs. I do appreciate that. And we also have some interchangeable hands, which I like quite a bit because right here out of the box, she's just got some gripping hands. But if you want to, she comes with 2 of these open hands, which are great for like just some really good dynamic poses, maybe spell casting looks, or even for her included accessory. But those just pop right out of socket. They work really well. They actually add a lot of character to the figure. And that accessory that I just mentioned is the hologram version of the Cosmic Key. Now, same mold as the Cosmic Key that we got with our Skeletor figure. You can see these compared here. But it's done in like this translucent glittery blue. So it looks really cool. This, of course, is supposed to be the scene like, where she would hold the hologram of the Cosmic Key up, like asking Kevin if he's seen this. So I think that's really cool. It's kind of hard to you can kind of situate it in her open hands there, putting sort of like the bottoms of the Cosmic Key through her fingers. Just work with it a little bit. It's definitely something that you can do. But now, my friends, we got to look at Evil Lyn standing alongside some of these other figures. Of course, putting her with our Masterverse Skeletor is pretty fantastic. I mean, she looks great standing there with him. So if you already have Skeletor and you're ready to build out more movie figures, you've got your He-Man, you can now add Evil Lyn to that, and she looks great. But for me, I was very curious if she was going to fit in with my Masters of the Universe classics. They're still my favorite of the movie figures, and we got a lot more characters in that line. And oh my God, guys, I can't even tell you how excited I am looking at Evil Lyn standing with the rest of the evil warriors from the film. We're just missing Beastman from this little entourage right here, but she looks so good with the rest of these figures with Blade and Sarad and Karg, and then of course you add Skeletor to the mix. I think she fits in perfect. With the classics figures, I was a little worried that she wouldn't because Masterverse almost feels a little taller at times, but I think she fits in great. If you've already got the movie figures from classics and you feel like you need an Evil Lyn like I did, I think you can pick this up and she will fit in just fine with the rest of those. And Mattel, I am begging you, please, please give us a Beastman. And then follow that up with Man-at-Arms and Teela at the very least. We need more characters from these films to round out this dream collection. Like, seriously, this Evil Lyn is a figure that I have been waiting on since 1987, which is the same thing I said when we finally got Skeletor and He-Man and those other figures. I think this Evil Lyn is great, and I need more motion picture figures, so make it happen, Mattel. Okay, so while we're on the movie vibes, I do also want to talk about this particular 2-pack because I was pretty excited to see this as well. This is inspired by the brand new Revolution animated series, and it's a deluxe 2-pack giving us Orko and Gwildor. I've always been a fan of Gwildor. I've always been a fan of the 87 movie. Completely unironically. It's okay if you disagree with me. But I was so happy to see Gwildor show up in an animated series. And I don't want to spoil too much in case you haven't seen the series yet, because it's still brand new. But I love this. I love this 2-pack. Getting these two together in a 2-pack is pretty hilarious, just knowing the history of Gwildor. I mean, Gwildor, if you don't know, which I'm sure you all do by now, but he was essentially the Orko of the 87 movie because they really didn't have the technology to have a floating guy floating robed thing on set, right? So they created Gwildor. He kind of was the comic relief of the movie. So now we've got both of these characters together in animation and in this 2-pack. Beautiful artwork on the front. Once again, absolutely love to see it. And then the back has just some cross-sell artwork there, showing the figures, showing all of their accessories, as well as a little headshot and bio for both of them. Beautiful artwork over here on the spine. Why don't we go ahead and get these guys opened up so we can get a closer look at them as well. All right, we've got our Gwildor and Orko opened up. Let's go ahead and start with the tape measure here. Gwildor stands just shy of 5 inches tall. Orko is going to be a little bit taller than that. It looks like the top of his hat goes just shy of the 6-inch mark. Now, of course, Orko is on a flight stand, and actually you can adjust that a little bit too, since it's an articulated flight stand. Let's go ahead and start with Orko while we're talking about him. We'll move Gwildor off to the side, and we will get a closer look at our Orko figure here. So, of course, this is inspired by his appearance in the Masters of the Universe Revolution series. This is following Revelation, where he got his upgrade, his Orko the White look. Very, very Lord of the Rings. I love that, though. So he's wearing this really cool white and gold trimmed outfit, which is super clean. It's blending in with my backdrop a little bit, so probably not the best color choice on my side. I apologize for that. But it's real clean. I actually really like how clean that is. The gold is shiny. The paint seems to be smooth and clean. I like that quite a bit. You can see under the hat there, we do have some wide eyes there with some really nice pupils. The pupils appear to be, those don't seem to be painted. Those might actually be, like the decals, or what's that called where they print on the eyes. That's definitely what it's looked like there. It's not decals, it's not peeling off, but it's like printed on. It looks good. I like it quite a bit. And then the blue of his skin, you can see the ears. It's very brightly colored. Articulation on Orko is going to be limited because of the type of figure he is. The head is ball jointed there, so it just kind of rolls around. I'm actually curious. It looks like it could, oh wow, that's definitely really tight, but it is just on a ball joint in there. It's on the barbell. So it just kind of rolls around. This part of the robe is a separate piece. In fact, you do have to plug this longer cloth piece onto his back out of the package. You can see he's got like this little clear knob, and there's just a hole on that, so that just presses on there. And that looks really good, plus it's articulated this way, so you can kind of move it side to side if you want to get some different blowing in the wind looks with that. I think it's pretty nice, actually. The arms just have like the typical hinges up there at the shoulders, so you can put the arms down, you can move them forwards and backwards. At the elbows, we do have swivels, and I do believe we do have bends there. Yeah, you have a single joint for an elbow bend. It's really interesting though, because he's got these really long sleeves, so it is going to hinder the motion a little bit, or at least kind of limit the ways it looks good with the way you're posing his arms. He doesn't have any joints in the wrists or anything. He does have very skinny arms and skinny wrists with his wide open spell casting hands. And then that's really it. Otherwise, we just have this flight stand here. And this is plugged into the bottom of the figure. So you can see I was able to disconnect it there. We've got that little peg hole underneath. So this is articulated at the top of the arm there. So it's got a hinge joint. Let's plug this back in. Get that locked in. It's a bit tricky to because of that articulated arm, it's a bit tricky to plug this back in. There we go. Takes a little bit of finagling just because it's hard to get a good grip on it. So you can see there's a bit of a curve on the arm, and then the bottom kind of has like this clear swirl. I do like this stand though. It works really well. I like that it's clear like this. This is much better than all the times they try to give Orko figures like a weird purple or blue cloud underneath him. I never thought that made any sense. So I do like that it's a translucent flight stand, but there's a little bit more to this that I like quite a bit. Before I get to that, I do want to go ahead and jump straight to comparison time, because I want to show you the Orko from Revelation side by side with this, so you can see that there is quite a bit of a difference here. Like, these are completely different designs. The new one from Revolution is awesome. Like, this just looks so much more Orko to me, and it's all about the shapes of the robes and kind of how rounded it is. You know, this particular Orko from Revelation has this very kind of tattered look to him. He almost looks a little broken in a sense. And so looking at these two side by side, like, even though this one is white instead of the traditional red and purple colors, it absolutely looks more like Orko simply in the shape, in my humble opinion. So as far as those accessories go, he's got these really great kind of magic spell accessories. So we've got this big kind of swirling piece, and we've got these little swirls that are going to clip on his hands. Now, before I attach those, I want to try to get a good close look at them here because they're beautiful. They're molded in this like very shimmery, shiny, blue translucent plastic that's sort of got this like glisten to it that's very colorful. I don't know if that's coming across, but it's got almost like this rainbow shine to it. They're gorgeous. And the way these work, as you can see, they're a little pliable and there's like a cut on one side. So what we want to do here is we just want to kind of clip these around Orko's wrists like so. We'll get this other little kind of tornado-y spell effect on the other hand here. Just like that. So it's kind of got like these little magic swirls going around his hands. And then this piece right here, it's molded out of that same material. It's very shiny. Look at that. Look at the way that sculpt makes the light reflect off of it. That is so cool. But as you can see, this is an articulated piece. So it opens up in like this gyrosphere kind of thing. And the way this works is like there's this little clamp on the bottom of the base there. You see that? It's got this little, it's like a snapback clip, which is really cool. So if you take a piece of this and you clip it in there, just like so, and make sure that's latched on, and then you kind of want to fold this around Orko, and you can kind of open it up like this, and now it looks like Orko has got this swirling magic around him. This is an awesome display. I even like the way, like, you can make it where, like, the cloth is kind of going out and over it, but you can go under too. I think this looks really cool. I think it's a really neat effect. It's a very cool accessory for Orko, and dare I say, it's probably one of the best attempts I've ever seen at giving Orko, like, a cool flight stand and magic effect combo. This is probably the best executed version of that I have seen on an Orko figure. So this is a great figure. I like him quite a bit. Okay, so brings us back over here to Gwildor, a character I was so excited to see in Revolution. I unironically love the 87 movie. I say that all the time. Gwildor is a great character. It's just so much fun to see him getting a little bit of love and a brand new look. This is different because while, you know, the two Gwildor figures we've had in the past, the one from the vintage line and the one from classics, those were technically based on the 87 movie. So this one is inspired by the way he appears in animation. So it still very much looks like Gwildor, but it's based on his animated look. And I think they did a really great job with this figure. I mean, this sculpt is beautiful. Love the facials. Love the colors. Look at all the colors in here. Different shades of blue from the shoulder pads to the arm sleeves to the tunic that he's wearing underneath here. You even got the darker blue on the robes with the gold trim. There's so many paint apps here. It is awesome to see. Good textures. I mean, it's a really great sculpt all around. I also love the little details, like he's got the little rope hanging off of his belt with the key on there. That's a really nice touch. I love the boots here. Really cool figure. And you got his ears, and his ears are articulated. Look at that. You can actually twist and bend his ears around. Otherwise, that head is still on a ball joint. It rolls around. Might be hindered a little bit by this big fluffy beard and hair combo there, but you'll also notice that the shoulder pads are a separate piece. They're kind of rotating with it as well. And then the arms articulate like you would expect. They go outwards, forwards, and backwards. You got a swivel at the elbow, a single joint at the elbow, swivel and hinges at the wrist there. It's all very tight and functions really well. He's got articulation at the waist. It is worth noting, like, he's wearing this overcoat, so in order to twist him at the waist, you kind of have to, you know, get underneath that robe. I will say, if anything, the one minor gripe I might have is that his leg articulation is a little on the loose side. You might notice how easily these are swiveling at the knees. I wish that was just a little bit tighter there, but he does have full leg sculpts underneath his robe, which does have the standard articulation. So he's got it at the thighs there, swivel at the knees, you got a bend at the knee, you got your ankle joint and your ankle rocker. It's just a little loose, but he does seem to stand well. Just all around a very, very cool looking action figure. And he's got some really nice accessories. First of all, look at the staff. I love this Gwildor staff. I like it because of the details on here. So it is just molded in this sort of like dark, deep brown color, but it's got a crystal at the top, which is a separate translucent piece, which to me makes all the difference. I don't like it when we just get crystals that are just painted. They have to actually look like crystals to me, and this does that, so I like that quite a bit. Very cool little accessory. And then another piece straight out of Revolution is the Techno Power Sword. So this is like the modified power sword here. And so this is the same power sword mold for the most part that we got with like Revelation He-Man, but we've got some added differences. Like you can see kind of like these little yellow lines, like Gwildor did some welding work there, and it turns translucent orange at the tip there, which is really nice. Sort of like it's either heated up for being worked on, or maybe it's calling down the power. So this does look really nice if you want to put it with your Revelation He-Man. There is a Revolution He-Man on the way out. I don't have him yet, the Battle Armor one. So here I'm just using the Revelation one. Although it is worth noting, I got a custom head on mine from Hordak MX over on Instagram. He did a great job with this custom head. But you can see, looks really great with the He-Man. So you can put this with He-Man if you want, or you can pair it with Gwildor. And of course, another amazing added bonus, which is something they totally didn't have to do, because it's not like this was a featured thing in Revelation or Revolution, but we do have a Cosmic Key. Now this is fun because it's clearly inspired by the Cosmic Key that came with the vintage toy, because it's got the handle on the bottom like that one, and it's red on the top like that one. You can see there's actually some nice paint deco on here with like some gunmetal and silver, and the top spins, and you can get him to hold it in his hand. So again, I mean, like, it just seems to go so well with Gwildor. I love that he comes with the Cosmic Key. With that being said, my friends, it's comparison time. We've got to stand him alongside that original 1987 Gwildor, looking at these two side by side. I think this is so fun to see. And let's put him alongside the Masters of the Universe Classics Gwildor, which was a really amazing likeness to Billy Barty. This one, of course, inspired by the look of him as he appeared in the film. But this is great. Like, we've got 3 Gwildor figures now, and they all look different, but they're all awesome. I love all of these for what they are. I'm just so happy to have them. Guys, that is going to round out this very long video looking at 3 pretty great Masterverse figures in Movie Evil Lyn and Revolution, Gwildor, and Orko. So be sure to let me know what you think. If you pick these up, are you planning to get them? Do you like them? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so very much for watching this video, and until next time.